So we have made it back from the Brooksville FTR event from yesterday, the race from yesterday. We left early. We actually camped on Friday night and then camped on Saturday night also, and had a great time with our friends, and left this morning pretty early, 8:30, 9 o'clock anyway. But listen, we have got back here to the shop, and we have washed and cleaned the 850 and washed and cleaned the YFZ 450 that the riders had raced yesterday, Brandon and then Kyla. And so both of them had problems yesterday, and we are here today, are going to start to address them so we can get them. Anyway, when we get it apart, I'm gonna disassemble it, and I'll have a video of what we think happened, and pretty sure this is what happened. So one of the bolts come out of the diff, and he blew a hole in the top of it. Luckily, he was able to finish, which is very, very important for us. We don't really care for DNFs, but wasn't nothing Brandon could do to prevent it. It's just part of racing. Now, this particular quad here was due for diffs, okay? So we were getting ready to change them and put a couple new ones in there. But anyway, unfortunate, it didn't happen. Same way with Kyla. So Kyla was running and did not even complete a lap, was leading the race in the women's class, and ended up having a brake issue with the rear master cylinder, which is the reason why she had stopped. And then also, when she discovered that there was oil leaking down the side of the engine here. So here's the riders. They're already out here, and we are trying to get it apart and get it repaired. So what do you guys think about the race yesterday after we've already gotten back and that kind of stuff? Just ready to get after it and get stuff fixed.
Yeah, I just want to fix everything.
Aggravating.
Yeah, just broke everything. Seems like a lot of more work on us, and got a better fuller over there. Got to get this thing done. So
yep,
there's a lot.
We had planned on doing some riding, and to be able to do some riding, we got to get things prepared. Unfortunately, Miss Kyla wanted to come home and get this thing running today, but that's probably not going to happen. So she is itching to ride. Did not get, I mean, what you go, 15 minutes maybe yesterday?
Probably not even that.
Maybe not even that. So yeah, all the work and effort and, you know, into riding and all that stuff just went out the window. Brandon was having a good race going. Unfortunately, the track conditions yesterday certainly did not favor a 4x4. It certainly favored a sport quad with some motocross jumps and that kind of stuff, and a lot of fast stuff and that kind of stuff. But although you did get the whole shot, Brandon,
yeah,
and
the whole shot,
and it really looked good. So let me. So you want to explain to him what happened here, Brandon, before we move forward, or you want me to try to explain to him what happened?
Yeah. So very common. These have a lot of issues with the this piece coming off the valve cover. As you can see, this has already been modded, I guess you could say, for this issue. Obviously this motor was in time for a rebuild, so it's probably building some pressure, and obviously it popped this up. So what we do is we stick an elbow in here that has a threaded piece. Normally this is just pressed in, so we thread this, and then we get an elbow that threads into here, but obviously it stripped the threads in there, as you can see.
So just over a period of time, this thing probably jumping up and down all that. But what happens is the engine builds crankcase pressure. This is the vent tube. This is the other little mod box here that our friends at B&R has sold us. And that comes off, I think that comes off a YF or a Suzuki or something, or LTR or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, it's some kind of catch basin for oil. These engines were bad about doing that. This particular quad, I think, is a 16. But anyway, Brandon, have you already removed that?
Yeah, it's a spark plug holder.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, you are correct. So this engine has another B&R piece that holds the spark plug boot down. So anyway, but that's what happened to Kyla. And so what happened is the engine is tired. We knew that, right, Kyla? And we've got the parts and pieces over here that we have already bought.
Plan on doing it this week.
We were planning on doing it this week. So what's happened is we knew the engine was getting tired because we were starting to see a little bit of seepage out of the gasket areas and that kind of stuff. Even the valve cover, we started seeing a little bit of seepage out of there. So we knew that it was time that it was getting time to do a rebuild, and obviously a lot of crankcase pressure is built, and it just ended up blowing this out. When that does happen, it tends to blow oil out, and she had oil saturated on the side of the engine. So you guys go back to work. I'm sorry, I just didn't mean to interrupt you, but anyway, I wanted to try to explain to the viewers exactly what was going on. So but anyway, so that's what happened to Miss Kyla. Now two options with Miss Kyla. We have a rebuild kit, a top end rebuild kit, you know, cylinder, piston, rings, head gasket, base gasket. The other option would be is we do have an additional engine that is complete and it's ready to go, and it's been rebuilt. The cases has been welded on that in the very front. What happened is we got it from someone that hit a tree with the YFZ and bent the bottom frame rail. When that happened, it broke the motor mount off the front of the engine. It's been welded, and the guy done a really good job. So we might end up putting those in there. These kids are wanting to ride. We're in full-blown training program right now, and we've got to keep them on the ATVs. So now Brandon has options, okay? So it's not an issue for Brandon. Now we do want to get this thing repaired. The other issue is we have the GNCC 2022 season quad to build, so we got to get after that, and the frame is still laying over there on the floor. So but this particular bike here, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull the diff out more than likely today, and today or tomorrow, I don't know. It's getting later. We've got the trailer all unloaded, got everything cleaned up, got the trailer cleaned up, truck parked, golf cart charging, all the clothes washed inside. We may, or I'm not sure how much we're going to get done, but we'll certainly get it done. I've also got the video from this past weekend to go in and get edited, and I'm really excited about doing that because Mr. Brandon had a GoPro 10 on the mounted right here on the 850, and it only got 43 minutes. We did turn the picture thing down where it's not as good, the quality and all that, and but it only did 43 minutes of like an hour and 15 minute ride. So the battery life just went dead. But we watched it last night on Terry's camper. He's got a television on the outside mounted to the outside of the camper, and Brandon was some way or another, however, they was able to get it connected into the we've got some people coming up here. So we were able to get it connected into that television, and we watched it, and the quality is unbelievable. I'm so excited to show you guys. Unlike the GoPro 7 from last week where the cage was rattling around. So this thing is certainly you guys will like it. I hope I can do a good job editing and put some stuff in there. All right, we're gonna wrap things up so we can get to work over here. So gonna go over there and go over here and help these kids, and then possibly get started on this Can-Am. So Brandon, I guess we have decided we're just going to pull the motor, potentially do a crank and all that stuff in it, right? Which we don't have.
What are we going to do with this wire? We got to cut it.
Yeah. Now let me do this. I don't want to cut it. Wait a minute.
I'm not going to mess with that. I'm ready for motor mount to be out, and that cable. And I believe that's everything. So.
All right, so Brandon, we have decided that we are just going to go ahead and pull this engine completely out of this four-wheeler because it is tired, and we are going to potentially do good. Just doing
so we've never really been into this motor, so we don't know really anything about it. So we're going to take it down, pull the motor out, go crank, just do all the whole 9 yards, just freshen the motor up so it'll be ready for whenever we need it.
And the reason why is because we got options.
Yep,
right?
We have options.
So what's going to happen is we could throw a top end in that thing, which is what we had planned. But then on second thought, listen, I think Ryan at BNR recommends every 50 hours or so. I can't remember. Okay, so Ryan at BNR is our guy on the YFZs, okay? And he's very, very intelligent and very, very smart. But I think he recommends 50 hours on a crank. Well, we don't know how much time that crank's got on it. So we ended up getting this quad from a good friend of ours, and Brandon has raced it quite a bit and practiced on it quite a bit. Kyla just started racing it this past season, I don't know, midsummer last year. So got a lot of time on it. So so our options are, we do have another engine ready to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and, I don't know if you guys can, we're going to pull this thing out. We're going to pull it out, but anyway, that one's fresh. We do know that. Okay, and that is the one that come out of the frame that had hit a tree and busted the nose off the front of the engine. Nothing wrong with the engine, and while they had to pull it apart to weld the cases up, so while they did that, they went ahead and rebuilt the whole thing. So that motor is completely fresh. So I think that's what we've decided to do. We're just going to go ahead and put that motor in here. Now Kyla and Brandon have almost got this thing ready to come out. So oh, also Kyla, we're going to go ahead and do sprockets and chains.
Yes.
While we're here. Go ahead and clean the radiator again.
Yep.
So anyway, we'll make it better for you.
Get it all done up.
Yes. We're looking at traffic, eh?
Quick question. How do I get this out?
I don't know. Let's get YouTube.
That's YouTube. YouTube.
Didn't really have to do that, but that's yeah, to the forward. Can you grab it and bring it over here yourself or no? Okay. Well, honestly, I'm not even sure why we needed it sitting over there, to be honest with you. Kyla, don't be doing that. If I see him smile, I'm going to turn right around and he gets you doing that. And I will not edit it. I will not edit it out. Get over here beside your kid.
I'll get you more views.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, so we got the engine out. This is the original engine, and this is going to be the engine now for Miss Kyla. And this one has been completely rebuilt. I was going to show you guys what I was telling you earlier about this particular engine, what happened to it. It had hit the quad had hit a tree and bent the frame, and it broke this little piece here off here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that in the video, but it has been welded up. So what happened is the cases come apart. They took the cases to a welder, and of course he aluminum welded that. And then when they went back together with it, they completely rebuilt it. New cylinder. So anyway, so I think this would be our better shot, just because we want to rebuild this one here. We do not know the hours on that, on the crankshaft. So, and by all that means, we've never done a top end, Brandon, in this one.
Never.
So, but anyway, this one does not have the mod done to it. This is essentially what happened to
stock.
This is stock. What it is this little elbow here is actually pressed into the valve cover here. So what happens is B&R sells a little kit that you thread this and then put a brass elbow here. Well, and unfortunately, this valve cover is junk because it pulled all the threads out of there. So that's essentially what happened to Miss Kyla yesterday. Now we are going to put new sprockets and chain on her four-wheeler, and we're also going to go ahead and do a throttle cable and a clutch cable while we're there. So anyway, that's our
Look at all this oil all over here.
it's still got oil in there, and you guys pressure washed it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, yesterday when you stopped, it was all over this. It was drenched everywhere. So I got to get your
yes.
lever off there.
Yep.
Kyla really likes this. It's a little bit longer, and for her little hands, it makes it a lot easier. We do not run recluses in any of our stuff, obviously with Brandon. But anyway, Brandon's never liked them. Kyla's really never really liked them. So anyway, but she does have little hands, so that does help. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm not sure if we're going to wrap up tonight or we're done or what. I know we're all getting a little bit hungry after waking up this morning and traveling home, getting everything cleaned up, getting the trailer all emptied out, and then getting this engine out. Obviously, you can see the Can-Am Renegade. We have not touched it, and that will probably be in the morning. I'll probably come out to the shop here early in the morning and start pulling this thing out. We do have a new diff laying over there on the shelf that's going to go in Brandon's new build. We will probably more than likely use that diff, and we will call our friends up at B&R and have him go ahead and send us a couple more. We need is 2, because I want to put one in this 4-wheeler that I've already got, one in the new one, and I want to have a spare. Okay, I want to have one on the shelf for this season. So I'll probably need 2, which we were getting ready to do this. But anyway, all right, so I'm not sure. We may end up messing around a little bit more out here, but for the most part, I think we're probably going to put everything up and go ahead and get showers and possibly see what Karen's doing, and may or may not go get something to eat, or we may make something to eat. So anyway, as always, guys, you guys got anything to say, Brandon, Mr. Racer Man?
I don't think so.
Mr. 4th place Racer Man here yesterday with a broken diff. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you another thing too. Mr. Nathan Collins come up to me and he's like, you know, during the race, and he's like, come up to me and your mom in the pit area, and you were out on the track racing, and we had discovered the hole in the diff on the 3rd lap, right? So he come up to us and he didn't realize you had stopped, and Nathan goes, yeah, man, I was down there at the motocross track, and all of a sudden you just hear a Can-Am Renegade just, you know, coming out of those HMF pipes and sounds really good. And it was Brandon, and he just launches the tabletop and jumps. And I said, oh, really? I said, well, maybe that's the reason why the darn diff broke. Yeah. And he's like, oh, he broke a diff? And I'm like, well, yeah. I said, he's out there in 2-wheel drive. And he goes, Nathan Collins, being Nathan Collins, he goes, oh, no, I'm sorry. Brandon was just rolling everything. He was rolling everything. So anyway, so Karen and I got a laugh out of it. Now, that's not what broke that diff. There is some pictures of you, Brandon, of where you was doing the jumps, and you were. He wasn't gonna. Yeah, Dad, I'm not gonna hit him. I don't want to tear anything up, and this, that, and the other. Well, I think he was jumping dang near as far as Hunter Hart was, and in a couple of jumps, I think he was. So, but anyway, hey, listen, he was trying, and it's not good on the Can-Am Renegade to jump it like that, but Brandon wants to, you know, do the best he can, and Brandon likes jumps, right? So but anyway, so Brandon did finish the race yesterday, but we did put it in 2-wheel drive. And Brandon, what's the quad run like when it's in 2-wheel drive? Explain to the viewers.
Not very fun.
Okay.
The worst part is going into a corner. What it'll try to do is try to turn around and do donuts on you, essentially. So what you got to do is, when going into a corner on 2-wheel drive on this 4-wheeler, you got to go and brake straight. If you start braking like sideways or trying to throw it around like a sport bike, like I do when it's in 4-wheel drive, it's a whole different riding style.
Is it coming around on you?
Yep.
And looping around?
So
then what happens on the exit?
On the exit of the corner, you get in the gas too early, you gotta, it'll do another donut on you. So you gotta feather the throttle, just be easy with the throttle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, whenever you took off from the pit area yesterday, you just spun like unbelievable. Yep. And then immediately, as soon as you took off, there was a right-hander, and I saw the quad skate up underneath you almost. So anyway, I knew it was going to be a heck of a ride for him. But listen, we wanted to finish the last lap, and never know, those guys could have broken in front of him. He could have finished better than 4th. So he was running 4th and was going to finish 4th, providing that we finished that lap. So. But you never know. One of those other guys could have had problems on the last lap, but fortunately they didn't, and we ended up 4th. And wasn't a bad showing, because the guys that was in front of him were all GNCC guys. You guys well know, which is Hunter Hart won it, and we had Jay Shadron, which is your amateur champion from 2021. And then you had Trey Warner, which was a XC2 rider. So, and it was Brandon. So, and Brandon was on the Can-Am Renegade. So anyway, listen, we had a great time, and we look forward to getting all this stuff put back together. We have got a ride planned on, I think, Wednesday, back out at the camp. So we're going to try to get all this stuff done and so these kids can ride out at camp. So as always, guys, we appreciate you watching our videos. Like, comment, and share. And we just appreciate all the support and all the comments. And the people that I saw at the races this past weekend, I thank you for that. So we certainly appreciate it and having the time of my life. Thank you.